People who have emotionally immature parents have the experience of trying to communicate, and that emotionally immature parent is not interested in what they're saying. So when you're trying to tell somebody something that's important to you and you're trying to communicate it to them, and they're looking at you like you have two heads and they are not processing what you're saying, the problem is not your problem with communication. It's their problem with being willing to process what you're telling them. So people get a very distorted idea about whether they make sense or not. They feel like they don't make sense because the emotionally immature person is not invested in trying to understand them. They're invested in getting off the hot seat as quickly as possible.
Which is why they erupt, or they dismiss,
Yes.
or they get defensive. And then that trains you to walk on eggshells and use a different tone of voice and worry about whether or not this is the right time in order to manage somebody's emotional immaturity. And that just leaves you feeling like you're the problem.
Exactly. So you get around people who are emotionally immature and you're trying to explain yourself or you're trying to communicate, and all of a sudden it's like, I don't feel like I'm making any sense. I can't find the right words. I start to say it and then I can't remember what I was going to say. It's what a colleague of mine, Jenny Walter, she's a coach out in the West Coast, calls brain scramble. Because when we're talking, the other person's responsiveness actually helps our brain organize itself and stay on a track of thought, because communication is not only intellectual and verbal, it's emotional. The whole time we're talking, right? Our right hemisphere of our brain is saying, is there resonance? Are we on the same wavelength? That's being assessed the whole time we're yammering away with our words. If that's not there, it is an incredibly unsafe experience. You're getting a contradictory signal. They're looking at you, they appear to be listening, but they're not processing it. And then it's like, whoa, the mismatch really pulls you off your game. You really pulls you away from the point that you're trying to make. And then it's like you can't remember even what you're trying to do.
And it is true. You start to think, I'm the problem. And I love that you just said, no, that's the wrong problem. It's not how you're communicating. It's that you're trying to communicate with somebody who is either too emotionally immature to be able to communicate like a mature person, or that has no interest in communicating with you.